Hello, friends. It's good to see you this summer. I am spending much of my time doing study and planning for the coming year. But I am pausing to share a message with you about an upcoming program. As the COVID-19 pandemic began, we heard the phrase, "We're living in unprecedented times." That statement has proven true in ways we didn't even expect. In addition to a 100-year global health crisis, we are also bearing witness to what is being called the largest movement in U.S. history. The Black Lives Matter movement, born in the aftermath of the shooting death of Trayvon Martin, went viral after the police shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. It rocked this city. This spring, the death of George Floyd at the hands of police in Minnesota brought Black Lives Matter to the forefront of our national consciousness and prompted a reckoning around race and racism in the United States. For some of you, this conversation is a continuation of one that began with the Civil Rights Movement, or even earlier. For others, this movement began with the deaths of Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown. For yet others, this dialogue is new. And for some, the oppression of racism has been your lived experience. Whether the work of racial justice is a recent commitment for you, or if you are deeply engaged in the movement, we're finding it is important to connect our anti-racism work to our Unitarian Universalist values and theology. We don't show up for Black lives because of political beliefs. We show up for Black lives because we, as Unitarian Universalists, uphold the inherent worth and dignity of all people. We're also discovering that history has given short shrift to many of the stories of people of color in this country. Recent events, alongside efforts to unearth the untold, show that the lives of people of color have not mattered in this country. That is a deep wound that affects not just individuals, but systems and institutions throughout our nation. Our faith calls us to the work of building the beloved community. To do that in meaningful and lasting ways, we as Unitarian Universalists need to engage in transformational learning. We are called to open our hearts and minds to the stories of Black, Indigenous, and people of color in the United States, to unlearn harmful myths, and to ground ourselves in shared purpose. This spring, I told the class that one of my personal spiritual practices is to make sure that I am regularly reading texts by people of color, whether fiction or nonfiction. It helps me grow my anti-racism muscle, my heart. It's not always easy or fun, so I find group programs helpful in keeping me accountable to my practice. In a week, Towards Justice, First Unitarian's Racial Justice program will begin a 6-month class they're calling ARREST, Anti-Racism, Religious Education, and Solidarity Training. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this program. Really, very excited. There are films and texts in the curriculum that I haven't seen or read. There are guests that I am looking forward to learning from. I know that for many, 6 months seems like a long commitment. I also know there will be moments when the curriculum will be difficult. That's why I encourage you to join in this program as a spiritual practice. Spiritual practices aren't always comfortable. Growing pains rarely are. But if you can sit with discomfort, if you can question your own resistance, then you just might find yourself and our world transformed. Now is the time. I hope you'll join this program. Be well.